Welcome to Even Field, a sports podcast that puts women first. I'm Josie. As always, I'm here with Amber.
Hello.
Got a quick question for you.
Yes.
I didn't ask you before. Have you seen the Barbie movie yet?
I have not. I've been so busy. It's on my list. I'm hoping to get to it this weekend.
It's so good, so worth it. We don't need to go into it.
Okay.
But holy buckets.
I will be messaging you after I watch it.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's exactly what I want. Okay. But you, more on track of things, have a couple high school track notes you wanted to get to.
Yes, we have some area high school girls who have done an amazing job at AAU Nationals, which are still going on at Drake Stadium in Des Moines. Sophia Scott, who has had just a phenomenal summer season. She just signed a contract with Nike to be part of their next elite group. She won the javelin, so won nationals in the javelin. All-class high jump champ EJ Brown was third at nationals in the high jump. Claire Helbush of Lincoln North Star won the 15-16 high jump, so that's pretty awesome. And Lily Kenning of Milford was fourth in the 1500, which isn't even an event that Nebraska competes in the high school level, but it is for USATF and international.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all these girls have been representing Nebraska as a whole quite well. But yeah, congrats to them.
Congrats to all of you guys. In other news, there was Big Ten volleyball media days.
Yes. Now you had to watch them all.
I had to watch them all.
How was it? Were you enthralled?
I mean, I appreciate it. They're always, I don't know how to put this. They always seem just like a little bit more upbeat than like say the football ones.
Right.
I'm not sure why that is.
Is it maybe like how, like if you look at the team pictures for football players, none of them are smiling? They got to look tough.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like the Husker players weren't necessarily that this year, and that's who I was more like keyed in on. But in case you didn't know, they have a new coach. It's kind of a big deal. Like
I've heard rumors.
I've heard rumors, but like the volleyball, like the Big Ten is so elite in volleyball that like it's just kind of, I don't know, a weird juxtaposition for them to be so upbeat and positive.
Right, against these people that they're going to be basically attempting to crush.
A crush, yes. And like multiple people, including John Cook at Big Ten media, was like, it's harder to win the Big Ten than it is to win a national title. Like, so crazy.
Yeah.
Most of the questions geared towards Nebraska were, of course, about the Memorial Stadium game.
Of course. Which is coming up.
Which is
what? For volleyball day in Nebraska.
The weather hasn't been... I haven't seen any forecast yet for that day. I've been watching. But yeah, there's
I'm expecting humidity. They're going to have to like wipe down that court between every single volley.
They're going to have to... All of them are going to have to braid their hair out of their face. Like, 'cause if they have hair like mine where it just like...
going to stick to
frizzes,
them.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. Should be a great time though.
Yeah, definitely.
They did have like one moment of, I think it was one of the Wisconsin beat writers was like how do you feel, like is this going to drive more competition? And John Cook kind of like took the jab and was like, I don't think you're going to get 90,000 people into Camp Randall, which had me just like busting gut. And then I looked up stats. So let me tell you about some of these stats. Ooh. So Memorial Stadium can seat 90,000. Right. And obviously they have standing room. So they're like, I think they're like 91, 92 for this game. It might be more than that. But they're in the 90s. Camp Randall can only seat at capacity 76,000 roughly. So
womp womp.
I don't know what they would do.
I guess put seating on the field, but even still, they're not going to get 20,000 seats.
I don't know. I don't know. They have had a single game attendance record of 83,000. So I'm not sure. They must have had like on the field or something like that. But that's still not 90. And that means if Camp Randall were to sell out a volleyball game and somehow beat Nebraska's attendance record, the volleyball match would have had more attendance than every single football game. Which would be awesome. Which would be amazing. If like, and holy buckets.
Probable. Although they do have a new football coach this year, so yeah, there's some renewed excitement.
This is true. So, yeah.
But volleyball,
obviously more important on this podcast.
Definitely.
Super excited about that. Lexi Rodriguez was also asked about the incoming class's number one recruiting class. She was part of a number one recruiting class, and basically how she like measure or not measure, but like live up to those standards. And obviously Lexi Rodriguez did her first season. She was a first team All-American.
Right. As a true freshman. So she basically was just like, try not to feel the pressure, but don't forget that there's a reason you're the number one recruiting class. Yeah, that's a really interesting balance, like living up to those expectations, but also not letting it get to you.
Yeah.
I was not a number one recruit going into college or anything, but my best friend in high school was, and I remember her calling me from her much more prestigious track school and just being like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, the workouts are so much harder. The pressure's on me, da 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 da. And I'm just like, well, then if you can't, you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that's not really an option.
Yeah. I mean,
it is literally, but.
And you could definitely enter the transfer portal.
Sure.
But you can't tell me the practices in Nebraska are going to be any harder. Like, it's going to be
it's going to be the same if you're going to Penn State or Wisconsin, because let's be real, you're going to go to a top tier volleyball school.
So you're going to go to one of those. Stanford.
Yes.
They're going to be hard regardless of
Yeah.
where you go. But yeah.
It's good that this incoming class, though, has those upperclassmen who... Nebraska's been so successful.
But they're
young. They're all still so young.
They're juniors.
Yes.
And they're playing in Big Ten where there's a bunch of fifth year season seniors. And they did talk about that, and they're just kind of like, I think John Cook said, volleyball doesn't know how old you are, and that I think something about how a dog that's going to bite is a puppy.
Oh, gosh.
It was like, which were both great quotes, and
Sure.
I'm just butchering them. But yeah, it was, man, John Cook went for it a couple of times in those press conferences. Highly recommend watching that.
I'm definitely going to go back and check it out.
It is on omaha.com if you want to go check that out. But yeah, it's just, they were so good. They talked about their Brazil trip, talked about how good the food is. I was like, of course it was Brazil.
Oh, those little cheese bread puffs.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, it was just all around pretty good for Nebraska, and definitely hyped. Everyone, I don't know if you watched their, spring match, I think is what they call it. Again, but those freshmen are good. And I'm so excited.
And they were picked to finish second in the conference, is that right?
Behind Wisconsin.
Of course.
Everyone's chasing Wisconsin.
Yeah. And then Minnesota third, Penn State, and then Purdue. All amazing programs and teams.
Elite. Yeah. No, it just, it's going to be a good battle. But obviously Wisconsin.
Yeah, is going to be, everybody's going to be gunning for them, as they should.
Yeah.
And then Lexi was one of 3 players that was unanimous preseason All Big Ten, right? Selection? Yeah. Oh, darn.
As she should be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm so shocked. I was a little surprised she was the only Husker named to the...
I can kind of see it because the Big Ten is so elite. There's so much competition. An outside hitter, and she, as a defensive specialist, is just
head and shoulders above, considering she's 5'6".
It's ridiculous.
But
Yeah. And then you got Lindsay Krause. She's competing against 5th-year seniors,
right?
Who are the coaches and media gonna pick?
Sure.
They've seen them for 5 years at this point, or 4 years at this point.
We'll definitely see more Huskers on the all-conference team at the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt. So
I wouldn't be surprised if a freshman gets up there.
Yeah.
But basketball.
Husker women are in Greece.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. So 3 scrimmage trip. Also, of course, getting some sightseeing. So they've played 2 of the 3 games. Their last game, I believe, is on Tuesday. So they've got a couple days of enjoying the gelato and the sights. But they won their first game 111-48. Annika Stewart had 22. Alexis Murkowski put up 18. And interestingly, freshman Natalie Potts, she started. Now, she's a top 50 recruit, so it shouldn't be too shocking.
Yeah, no.
But it will definitely, give us something to watch for once the season finally starts in November, late October?
I want to say it's November, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, somewhere in there. This fall, we'll put it that way. And then they won their second game by a huge margin. They've outscored their team, the Greek opponents, 212 points to 97.
I know, it was ridiculous.
Which is great. I mean, that just shows, especially after, I mean, this past season was a bit of a dip for the Husker women after the prior season, which was record setting.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So I think, we've got some hope for the Husker fans watching women's basketball. I think that this, exhibition scrimmages or whatever, it's a fun trip, but they're not just having fun. Like, they're really playing hard.
And I mean, they have so many returners that they already are bonded. So good trip.
Yes.
And you can figure stuff out for sure in your lineup. But I feel like a lot of that has to be set. But Natalie Potts starting is interesting. Is interesting.
And, we'll see how Tuesdays, I believe it's Tuesday, how their third game, we'll just say their third scrimmage will go. But I'm expecting, something similar, score differential. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully, I think there were a couple other, actually, I believe every single eligible player scored points in the second game. And they had some other first years playing, at least in the first game as well, too. So definitely getting the reps. I mean.
And that's what's important.
Yes.
That's what these are oh my gosh, if they lost one of these games, it would be bad. Against a club team, it would be bad. They absolutely should be dominating them. They are. But getting the reps in. It's like a bunch of preseason practices.
Yes, exactly. And then come back and start school and get ready for the season.
And be sad you're not eating the Greek food anymore.
Yes. Oh, goodness. So fun.
So fun. Wish I could go.
Same.
Would be, I think, remiss to not point out on the Nebraska softball front.
Ooh.
We had streets named after Jordy Bahl and Peaches James.
Yes.
Big news on that. If you didn't know, Jordy Bahl is at Nebraska. I don't know what rock you've been living under.
And Peaches is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, if you don't know Peaches
and
James.
Nebraska Hall of state.
She's
school,
elite.
Right? I mean, she's
fantastic.
Well-deserved honor.
Trying not to swear about how great she is.
Yes. That's pretty exciting. I think softball, it's going to be a fun watch this year. The 2023-24 season is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Those season tickets, if they're not sold out already, I'm not sure at the top of my head.
Right.
But they will be.
Yes, definitely.
Rhonda Revelle was we will get as many people into the stadium as they can. So that's a good sign.
Yes. Hopefully we'll get some games on ESPN so that those of us who can't make it will be able to watch. But I know
those of us that are working.
Exactly. I mean, Big Ten's always nice, but that extra exposure of ESPN is always a good plus for women's programs. So, I mean, any program, but particularly women's.
Agreed. What I did mention, volleyball media days. They're playing volleyball, Big Ten volleyball after football, NFL games.
Okay.
I did. We can come back to that at some other point, but put a pin in that one.
Yes,
but
definitely.
That's pretty good.
That's kind of awesome.
Kind of a weird time to play volleyball, but
sure.
But
let's take advantage of that market. People who want to, because you'll get the volleyball fans tuning in early, and you'll get the football fans staying late. So hey,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I'm in.
Great. I'm all in for any coverage of women's sports.
Definitely.
To be fair, but anyway, back on track.
Yeah, sorry.
You had some news about soccer.
Yes,
Creighton,
yes,
right?
yes. So just really quick with the Huskers, they are hosting South Dakota State, and then on August 8th, and then Oklahoma August 11th, and you can go for free. And these are some pretty talented soccer players, so I would say if you can make it, you should go out there. They're just exhibition games, but just is in air quotes because a game is a game.
A game is a game. Wear sunscreen.
Exactly. Bring water if you're allowed to bring a water bottle in. Whatever you do, stay cool. Because
it's going to be so hot.
Yes, it is. And then Creighton. Okay, so former Creighton women's soccer player Gabriella Guillen, she made history. She became the first Blue Jay soccer player, now that's men's or women's, to start a World Cup match. She plays for Costa Rica.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. But you add to that, she was the first Blue Jay to participate in the World Cup.
I know.
Back in 2015, that was her first one. But the first Creighton Blue Jay.
Which, when you think about how successful the men's program has been, that should just tell you how freaking amazing this woman is.
Yes. Yes, it is so cool. So she let's see, in 2015, she played, I think, in one match against Spain. So this time she actually, I believe, also had the first shot on goal for Costa Rica of the tournament.
Oh.
Got stopped, but still.
He's
Like,
still a thing.
huge. Yes. So shout out to her. She's amazing. That's fantastic. Playing on the world stage. I mean, with all the other headlines that have been coming out for World Cup.
Yeah, like the record attendance.
Yes, record attendance.
What's happening?
Jamaica having to GoFundMe to get there.
Yeah.
And then all of the top teams in the world, save the United States, getting knocked out.
Yeah. Weren't there were 3 top 10 in a day, right? It was 3. Ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Not
Absolutely
ridiculous.
crazy.
Like, congrats to all the teams that won.
Yeah.
But, like, just...
I was talking to one of my college teammates last night. She lives in New Zealand, so she's been going to games. And so she was a rower with me and played, I was about to say football, played soccer for SMU when we were there. And so she's been going to games, and she's been like, it's just been amazing. It's so fun. It's nice having it. You know, we just hop on the train and pick up a ticket and go. And I'm like, yeah, that's better than an 18-hour flight.
Yeah. You don't get that in Omaha.
No, and, you know, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a game, or the Sunday to watch the U.S. at 4 a.m., I believe.
I can't do it. I can't. I have to, like, just watch the, like, highlights after the fact. And, and not check Instagram, because my Instagram is always, like...
updating everything. Yes. It's total spoilers. I was in Portland for the opening game, and the Sports Bra, which is a women, like a bar that's dedicated to women's sports.
That bar has been extensively covered.
And it is amazing. I have a hoodie, a tank top, a hat. I plan on going back. I'm going to be back in Portland in October. My friends and I will be going, but they hosted a watch party at Pioneer Courthouse Square, which we all, of course, went crazy every time it appeared on the broadcast, but it was so much fun. And then we hopped on the train and went to a Thorns game right down the street. So it was super fun. It was my women's sports weekend in Portland, although not the reason why I went there, but it was amazing. And I'm so excited for this World Cup, and I'm so hoping America can pull it out against...
They've been struggling.
Yeah, not playing their best, but, you know... the goal was
winning.
to advance, survive and advance, and they did. And so now they just have to win.
Do you think that's more impressive, them, like, they're struggling and pulling through, than, say, like, the absolute blowouts from the last, like, 5?
Yeah, where they just dominate and the game's kind of boring. Trust me, I love to win.
I love winning.
But, like, that they can not play their best against the best in the world. I mean, really, the other countries are just catching up to us, which is fine.
Which is great for the sport.
Yes. It's sort of like men's basketball, how, you know, Dream Team dominated without even thinking about it. And then international basketball has caught up. I mean, look at some of our best players in the NBA. You know, they're foreign players. So I think it's very similar to that. And everyone just keeps kind of like bashing USWNT. And it's just kind of like, did they not advance?
Yeah, no, they did.
I mean, yeah.
I think the games are higher quality. You should be happy.
Yes. It's not just a one-sided snooze fest. No.
Which is what a lot of Americans complain about soccer.
Yes. Chess on
why
grass.
are you so mad?
Yeah.
Why?
There's actually competition going on right now. I don't know. A buddy of mine that I used to work with refers to soccer as chess on grass. And while I see his point, I prefer to look at it from the positive way, where it's a lot of strategy involved.
There's a lot of strategy. It's honestly, I mean this in a nice way. It's a lot like hockey, but slower. But that's not a bad thing.
No.
Because you're not allowed to punch each other out, which honestly is the best part of hockey.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. But yeah. Speaking of professional sports.
Yes, our favorite subject right now.
You got season tickets, right?
Well, I put down a deposit for season
Gotcha.
tickets. I will be buying the cheap seats, using cheap euphemistically. I used to be they don't call them season ticket holders, but basically a season ticket holder for the Portland Thorns, an NWSL team. These tickets are projected to be more expensive, so I will be purchasing one. So all the rest of my friends who want to come to games, you're buying your own. But yeah, so season ticket deposits are open. They've already reached well over 25% of their allotment by the time I
signed up,
put my deposit.
This is for the Omaha Supernovas. In case we didn't say that.
Yeah, we get a little excited because we can't wait.
Their logo is so great.
Yes, so it's the love is what they're calling the league, the one volleyball league. And then I know we've talked about it before, but they've announced Supernovas. They've got really awesome merch for sale, which I believe you are familiar with.
I'm familiar with. My fiance, wow. We have some coming. We're coming. We got some coming. We got stickers, a hat, a jersey. We had a whole conversation. In case you didn't know, Jason Derulo is part owner of the team in Omaha. So you can get merch with like number 24 and like Derulo on it. And
I think I'm going to hold out for a player.
Right? Like I was like,
yeah.
I bet you, but anyway, but like the Derulo ones are like,
they're fine. Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're $10-20 more. And so like we had to have a whole conversation about
of course
whether or not that was like worth it. And I was kind of like,
we're not going to see him on the court playing, so.
But like, how much Jason Derulo music do you think is going to play?
Oh my gosh, especially with how he calls out his name, Jason Derulo, at every single song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to hear that a lot.
You're going to hear it a lot. I bet they walk out to a Jason Derulo song. But what song will it be?
Oh, that's a good one. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm sure they'd love to hear it.
Yeah. But since we last talked, they got a name. The open season tickets.
Yep.
They got merch.
Yep.
They had a logo.
Yep. They've even started doing interviews with the players wearing the merch.
Yeah, exactly. Their Instagram is ridiculously active. Don't know about any other social media because I tend to avoid it because part of my job is to be on social media.
Right. And it's not fun when it's part of your job.
No, exactly. But Instagram really isn't. I mean, it kind of is.
But yeah. But there are going to be 12 home games.
Yep.
Which is going to be fun.
Starting in February 2024.
Yes. So everybody needs to get ready. Start pinching some pennies so you can put your deposit down or get ready to buy tickets. It probably wasn't in your budget, but add it to your budget for 2024. Let's support this team.
For Christmas?
Yes.
Hanukkah?
Yes. Birthday?
Birthday?
Arbor Day? Well, that's not till. But
that's
you
a
know
Nebraska
what I mean.
thing.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
like, maybe.
But yeah, I think I'm super excited. I can't wait. There's just something about watching really, really good volleyball.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. Like the team is got like chock full of just like
we've got former Huskers, we've got former Badgers, we've got Penn State alums.
It's just a Big Ten
love fest.
It's just so great.
It's going to be amazing. I think they made such a smart decision by putting a team in Omaha.
Yeah, especially like you're still in Nebraska, but now you don't have to compete against Nebraska volleyball.
Right.
I mean, the seasons are different.
Right.
But,
but still, the attention,
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who are football fans, they split their attention between college and NFL. That would just kind of, here's a technical term, suck to have to do that with NCAA and then this pro league. Yeah. So it's nice that they'll be able to get sort of like how the WNBA is kind of opposite of the NBA. You get to be able to enjoy both.
Yeah, it will
to
be.
Its fullest.
It will be. I'm just so excited. Like I can't even.
Well, hopefully I will actually secure a single season ticket for myself, and then I can report back.
All I'm hearing is Ambre's gonna brag.
I'm gonna talk about it constantly
all the time.
Yes, from my nosebleed seat all the way at the top in the back because that's what fits my budget.
And that's what that's totally fine. You're supporting it.
Yes, I'll be able to see the whole court.
Yeah. CHI is a great place to be doing this.
It really is. I went to the Creighton Husker game when they broke that record at the time.
And then they lost
And then lost it, 4 days later or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a week. It was not long.
But it was great. It didn't matter. I was on the upper level. But it was wonderful. It's just a wonderful facility. I don't think anybody, because, people keep bashing women's sports, especially like the WNBA, when they have a sellout of a 8,000 seat stadium. Well, they sold out.
Yeah. People bought the tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Well, were everybody there? I was like, well, let's look at our sellout streaks for the Huskers, for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, no, you can see
a sellout and attendance are different things.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to attend these volleyball games.
Yeah.
Just another pro team in Nebraska, in Omaha, because I feel like the Storm Chasers get a lot of support.
They do.
Union Omaha, I've always seen crowds there.
They have crazy support.
Yeah.
They their fans are.
So I love that there is a women's pro team in a sport that gets a ton of support.
And this is
in the state.
This is the state to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're having a freaking volleyball in Nebraska.
Yes.
today.
Yes. Oh, we need to start thinking about some T-shirts.
I wonder if the Omaha team will go to that.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the club teams are going, and
Right.
I assume a lot of the high school teams are going. I haven't checked the NSAA finally put the volleyball schedules up.
Yes.
I haven't checked to see if anyone's actually playing
Right.
a game that day.
Yeah. Which, by the way, this week is moratorium or dead week for high school sports. So all of the summer conditioning ended. Nobody could practice this week. Everything starts up on the 7th. That is the first day of fall practice. So all of the sports who do cuts will be doing that during the week. All of the ones like, for example, my team with cross country will be accepting anybody who is unable to make the softball, volleyball,
Shameless
golf,
plug.
everything else. Oh, 100% shameless plug. Cross country is a wonderful sport in and of itself, but it also does help with getting fit and staying fit for other activities.
Or
There's
you
my
could be
plug.
like me and it would just kill you. I can't run that far.
I was a sprinter.
So was I, and I've stayed as
Yeah, I did run cross country in high school for 3 years. I played volleyball my freshman year, but in Iowa at that time, this makes me sound super duper old, and I'm only slightly old. We only did 2 miles for girls cross country back then because girls couldn't handle running 3 miles.
What?
I think they run 3 miles now, and I think the boys run a 5K. So that 0.1 of a mile is
That's
just
like nothing.
yeah,
That's like what, a 200 meter?
you know.
Just that means you're setting up two. Are you setting up different courses at that point, or just 2 different starting lines? Because either way, that's extra work for
2
no
different
reason.
courses. There'll be like a different turn. Yeah,
That is extra work you do not need to be doing.
Because it was the same when I was in high school doing our 2 miles and the boys did 3 miles. We start and finished at the same place, but the course was, it's just, cross country is super fun. I know that sounds snarky, but I mean it. Yeah, that's all. We'll just leave it at that. But fall sports start up Monday the 7th for high school in Nebraska. And
we are gonna have to do this podcast like weekly.
Yes,
There's
we
gonna
are.
be so.
yeah, we may not
Much.
be able to cover every single sport each week. We may have to
No.
alternate because there's going to be so much going on.
There's so much going on. There's so much coming up.
Yes.
We got the Super 6 from
Yes.
us for volleyball. That's coming up. I think that's coming out on August 19th.
Awesome.
Super exciting stuff. Be a whole bunch of volleyball coverage in that paper and online, obviously, on Omaha.com. But yeah, just there's so much happening. I can't even like.
As much as it can be sad for summer to end, although we don't get a summer break, so it's like meh. It's wonderful to have so many sports getting back up.
Yeah.
So
Now, if we could just get Creighton volleyball off Flow Sports,
yes,
I could be excited again
yes,
for that particular. I'm so
Right.
excited for a whole bunch of other things.
course.
But yes. But anyway, thank you for listening to Even Feel.
thank you.
Make sure you check out all of our coverage at omaha.com. But for now, I'm Josie,
I'm Amber.
and thank you.